afternoon here in Lagos, Nigeria. Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics. I'm Kayode Okikilu. These are the highlights. The Labour Party leadership tussle appears far from over as the Nnamdi Usman Caretaker Committee, backed by Peter Obi and Alex Otti, resolves to appeal a judgment upholding Julius Abure as the national chairman of the party. And it's a weekday election in Plateau State as voters across 17 local government areas of the state elect chairmen and councillors from 11 political parties to run the affairs of the council areas for the next 2 years. The war of words continue in Rivers' political impasse as former Governor Nyesom Wike has asked his successor, Wike-Fubara, to obey court judgments for peace to reign in the state. We begin in Rivers State. The former governor of the state and the minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, has been telling his side of the story in the Rivers political crisis. In an interview with Channels Television, he explains that the violence in the state would have been avoided if his successor, Governor Wike-Fubara, had followed the rule of law and the pronouncement by the court. He adds that instructions have been given to his lawyers to approach a court to set aside the judicial panel of inquiry set up by the River State governor to investigate those behind the burning of secretariats in the state. He was speaking on our political program, Politics Today.
No person who believes in the peace and stability of any nation will say that you want to support violence, will say that you want to support destruction, will say that you don't want people to live in harmony. But what is important is that when there's violence, when there's instability, it is for you to ask questions. What has led to that violence? What has led to instability? What has led to destruction? If at all, it's very key. I've said, I was a governor. I've always obeyed the rule of law. You heard the governor said that our state is turning to a state of anarchy where people do not obey the rule of law, where people do not obey the rule of law. What is obeying rule of law? You must respect. You must obey the judgment of courts. A governor came out on national television, not local television, to tell the world, I will not obey court judgment.
Did he say that?
Yes. In fact, to crown it all, he said there was no way in the judgment that the court said the election should not hold. He went as far as to say, I do not need police before I conduct an election. When somebody says, I don't need police, what are you saying? I'm inviting violence. Hoodlums will take opportunity, saying police will not be involved. In that case, who is the perpetrator of that violence? Governor is the architect of the violence.
For the sake of peace, what in your own power do you think can be done?
Obey. The rule of law is the only thing that can bring peace.
And you think that it's up to Governor Fubara?
It is in. Who will support violence? Who will support destruction? Now you talk about panel of judicial panel inquiry. The governor said that this is the handwork of his political opponents.
Could it be you?
No, but having known them, what are something of a panel of inquiry? You know them. All you need to call police, arrest them, charge them for arson. You know them. You have said so. So what is the basis of judicial panel of inquiry? I know the look. I have told our lawyers this afternoon. Go ahead and set aside those rubbish. That's rubbish.
What will Wike do?
What Wike is
To
going
allow
to
for
do?
peace.
Obey court judgment. Allow the rule of law to prevail. Because if you don't obey the court judgment, if you don't adhere to rule of law, you are bringing anarchy.
Well, the FCT minister's statement come after Governor Wike-Fubara inaugurated a judicial commission of inquiry to investigate the violence that erupted in some local government areas of the state. Now, according to the governor, the commission was long overdue, recalling that a similar incident occurred about a year ago, which he chose to overlook. The commission will work on a 9-point mandate and is expected to submit its report in 1 month. Well, let's give you more insights into this as the people of Rivers expect some sort of peace amidst all of the political crisis. We're joined by former Rivers East Senator, a member of the APC, Senator Andrew Uchendu, joins us virtually on Lunchtime Politics. Distinguished welcome to Lunchtime Politics. Governor Fubara has been asked to obey court order for peace to reign. That's the FCT minister asking him. But the governor, in turn, is asking former Governor Wike to let go of River State, saying that the FCT minister can't win all fights. I don't know what you see this as, maybe grandstanding from both parties, but really, as a member of the APC, a chieftain in River State, what's your interpretation of what needs to be done for peace to reign?
Well, thank you very much. The Honorable Minister of FCT has said Fubara, the governor, should obey the rule of law. My worry is what is actually obeying the rule of law? Is it for Fubara to obey the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, or to obey the Supreme Court's judgment that says the local government should not be run by unelected officials? Or is it just what the Federal High Court in Abuja gave, or what the River State government and River State High Court gave? So there's some confusion, and a key player in the whole thing, he should be able to define what aspect of the rule of law he is talking about. For me, I think it's important for both parties, Governor Fubara and the FCT minister, to get back to themselves, talk to themselves. As governor, what am I expected to do as provided for by the Constitution? As minister, what am I expected to do as provided for by the Constitution? I believe this will be the starting point. Our governorship candidate, the last election, Tayeko, did refer to advice that the former governor, His Excellency Dr. Peter Odili, His Excellency Dr. Mechi, His Excellency Wike, and His Excellency Fubara similarly should meet another. There's nothing wrong in that. There is absolutely nothing that. That's good. I mean, that's every advantage in meeting. But we should all recall that when Dr. Peter Odili served out his tenure for 8 years, he never came back to interfere with the succeeding administrations. If anything, he may have been consulted behind closed doors. When Amechi came on board, Amechi came on board, he ruled for 8 years, and he left the scene before His Excellency Wike came on board. I believe that if everybody is to keep to their own thoughts, there wouldn't be much crisis. There are challenges in running an administration. Personally, I believe that there is no way, no matter what agreement, no matter how humble, how nice Fubara will be, there is no way he will execute the provisions, the powers conferred on the state governor as provided for by the Constitution, that he will not run in conflict with the person that he took over from.
Right.
And therefore, my advice is, at the starting point, both Wike and Fubara should face their job according to the provisions of the 1999 Constitution as amended.
And that advice appears straightforward, but it would look like things are not straightforward, or at least have not seemed straightforward. And we can go all the way back. And it's important to have interventions from elders such as yours so people can know that, well, this is maybe not the real representation of Rivers State, what Rivers people stand for. But we can go all the way back. And you referenced former Governor Dr. Peter Odili. He wrote in his book, that autobiography, Conscience and History, how former Governor Rotimi Amechi sort of didn't listen to him, betrayed him. There was some sort of agreement. So there was a back and forth then. Fast forward, former Governor Amechi and former Governor Wike, they had their issues as well, and you know too well about that. Now we're seeing an issue between former Governor Wike and current Governor Wike-Fubara. Even within political parties in Rivers State, the PDP is split almost into three. There's the Governor Wike, there's the Governor Fubara, and then there's APP, a subset. The APC is also split. There's the Tony Okocha group, there's a Beke group. Is this something about Rivers politics that we see these issues? What exactly is at play here?
Well, I'll tell you.
Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, see, I'll tell you this. I have been involved in the politics of the state since 1999. As a matter of fact, I was a foundation member of the PDP. Like I pointed out earlier, there will always be one conflict or the other, but none has escalated to the point we are today. There are legal issues, legal complications. None in the past had assumed this dimension. I don't want to talk about His Excellency Dr. Peter Odili, who we respect greatly, and his relationship with his man, Rotimi Amechi. He couldn't have gotten to this level. Amechi couldn't have gotten to the point of insulting Odili or abusing him the way we are seeing it today. But I think things have gotten worse. And it's a matter of, it's an attitudinal thing. I do not think, in all honesty, Wike is my brother. We come from the same tribe. I am thinking of a Nigerian that would be able to talk to some of them and who they can listen to. But I think the most important thing would be for them to realize that, like Wike said in one of the video clips I watched, there is nothing as good as wishing your state peace. And he should forgo any or anything, if only to ensure that the people he ruled for 8 good years are having peace after his exit. And that he owes Rivers people. All through I have been in politics, I can tell you, I have not observed the level of citizen support that His Excellency Fubara is enjoying today. I can tell you that. A few misgivings may be here and there. And that is not enough to create the tension we are having today in Rivers State. If not, if Fubara were not to be acting the way he's acting, I am sure with the absence of the police during the election, there would have been mayhem. Anarchy would have been descended on the entire state. But I voted. There was no usual violence at the polling unit. There was no fight. There was no dissing. I'm happy that Mr. President has advised that the outcome of these elections are known. The procedures of resolving disputes are known. If you are not satisfied with the elections so far, and all of us can't agree with the elections, the outcome, so you proceed to the court, and the court will take the necessary remedial actions, as Wike has pointed out. Then at that point, we all obey the rule of law.
Well, as you said earlier on, it looks like people are picking what rule of law to obey. The question then is what happens to the previous court orders or judgments that were given, perhaps one at the Federal High Court. But let's wind down on this point, Senator. Aside the people of Rivers State, it would seem that the judiciary is also one of the biggest casualties in all of this. We heard the governor very livid, the way he spoke about the judgment given. even the Inspector General of Police, the police has also had its fair share of heat in all of this. So when you say that you are hoping to see a Nigerian who can speak to them, who will that Nigerian be? Because the court has come in, it looks like nobody's listening to the court. The president had intervened, nothing much came out of it. So who is that Nigerian? Or do we get a celestial being to come and intervene?
Gigola, if you remember, my original and first advice was that the personnel dramatists should confine themselves to the provisions of the Constitution. If they do that, that will be part of solving the problem. I accept the judiciary will need to redefine themselves. A situation where courts of coordinate jurisdiction will give conflicting judgments. I think NJC should come in and put a stop to this. There must be a way out, because it's part of the problem. If the Federal High Court had taken into consideration the judgment of the High Court in Rivers State, possibly it would have come up with a different approach to giving the same judgment. But there's a conflict, because the governor will now be left with the choice of which judgment to obey. Against the background of the Supreme Court judgment that elected local government must be run by elected government officials. So that's what the confusion is. Because if the local government elections have not been held the day that it was held, then it means that at the expiration of the 3 months which the federal government has given to the states, then there will be no local government administration in Rivers State. What happens to the people of Rivers State who are suffering from all these interferences? What happens? And so majority of Rivers people are happy that the local government election held. And that was why there was no conflict anywhere in terms of voting and hoodlums, do one thing, ballot box starting and all that.
Well,
what we have noticed is the outcome of the election.
And I think the true test then will be to see who really has the interests of the people at heart. But we'd like to thank you so much for your interventions. I really hope that those who are involved are listening and making, amends so that we can have peace. Senator Andrew Chendu, former Rivers East Senator, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, let's turn our attention to politics within the Labour Party. Yes, the chairman, Labour Party Caretaker Committee, Senator Nnamdi Usman, on Tuesday has said that her committee will appeal the judgment of a federal high court which upheld the Julius Abure-led leadership. Senator Usman, in a statement she personally signed, said she met with the party's 2023 presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, the Abia State Governor, Alex Oti, and Senator Darlington Wokocha, who was secretary of the Caretaker Committee, and deliberated on the judgment. The former finance minister admitted that the judgment, which upheld the Nnewi Convention of the party, preceded the formation of the Caretaker Committee, and said the leaders resolved to challenge the judgment. Now, this follows Justice Emeka Wite's judgment of a federal high court, Abuja, declaring Mr. Julius Abure as a substantive chairman of the Labour Party. But let's get you some more insights into what is playing out within the Labour Party. We're joined by Mr. Femi Kehinde, as a member of the Labour Party and Obedient Movement, joins us from our Abuja studio. Welcome to Lunchtime Politics, Mr. Kehinde. So we're faced with yet another issue. There's a court ruling which affirms Mr. Julius Abure as the chairman, the national chairman of the Labour Party. As a lawyer, a member of the party Obedient Movement, at this moment, the Senator Nnamdi Usman Caretaker Committee, do you see them laying any claim to leadership, or they should naturally just cede to Julius Abure to carry on until the appeal is decided?
Thank you, and good afternoon for having me. Good afternoon, Nigerians. Now, on the issue of the judgment I was given yesterday, yes, the National Caretaker Committees already stated their position, which is to appeal the judgment, and it's within their constitutional right to do so because they are interested party. So the law allows them to appeal the judgment, and they've taken that option.
No, my question is, so today, now, you're a member of the Labour Party. Who is your leader? What's the national leadership for you? Is it the Nnamdi Usman or the Julius Abure leadership?
So going by the judgment of yesterday, which confirmed Julius Abure as the national chairman, so that's the position as it is. That judgment is binding on every law-abiding citizen and members of the party until it is set aside. And that's why the National Caretaker Committee set up by the key stakeholders in the party have now decided that they are going to appeal that judgment to ensure that it is set aside so that the right thing is done in accordance with the constitution of the party.
Right. So I wonder where that leaves Mr. Peter Obi, Dr. Alex Otti, the governor, and others within the party. I know, yes, they have a relationship with the Nnamdi Usman Caretaker Committee. Well, they had a relationship with Julius Abure, as we saw in the build-up to the election and even afterwards. But it looks like all of that has broken down. Do you think it's wise to really continue with the litigation or unite and say, you know what, let's forgive? As Mr. Abure said, he was stretching the hand of fellowship to others. So do you think it's maybe wise to pursue litigation or resolve the issues in-house?
So to this issue, personally, I think that there are two solutions. There's political solution and there's also the legal solutions. So in terms of the political solutions, effort are being made to ensure that all the factions within the parties come together and they bury their differences. In fact, in the coming days, there's going to be an enlarged stakeholder meeting in Lagos State, in particular, being convened by Honorable Sheyi Sowunmi, who is also a member of the National Caretaker Committee, set up by His Excellency Alex Otti and Peter Obi. So the essence of that meeting is to bring everybody together under the same roof and try to find a way forward so that all these differences are set aside in the interest of the party. So that's a political solution, and it's a political solution on one hand. On the other hand, is what has been stated by the national chairman of the caretaker committee, Senator Nnamdi Usman. That's a legal option, which is they're entitled to do that under the law. So both options can run concurrently without one hindering the other.
Well, that's a very interesting one. I wonder how much trust will be on the table first if the person or the people convening that reconciliation meeting is a caretaker committee now that is deemed illegal, right, by the court, and then there's still a court case ongoing. I wonder how much trust will be on the table. That is if the Abure-led leadership will even show up, because now that they have legitimacy, they are the ones meant to sort of call reconciliation, decide who will be on that. But here goes my next question. Nigerians are watching, right? They're watching the Labour Party. First, we saw the showing of your party during the Edo governorship election. It wasn't the very best compared to what you did or what we saw during the presidential election in the same Edo state. So Nigerians will be watching and thinking, maybe the Labour Party is same as the APC that the Labour Party had condemned, same as the PDP that the Labour Party had condemned as well. So is there anything really different about the Labour Party from what we've seen in the past months?
Of course, the Labour Party is totally different from the two other parties that you have mentioned. The Labour Party is a party that is a social democrat in ideology. So other parties are just what I would call special purpose vehicles. So Labour Party has ideology, and it's that ideology that aligns with the presidential candidate, His Excellency Mr. Obi, and all other obedient members and obedient movement generally. So Labour Party is run by ideologies, and is guided by those ideology of a social democrat party.
Well, it's funny you call other parties a special purpose vehicle. If anything, your party has been described as a special purpose vehicle. Mr. Peter Obi leaving the PDP to the Labour Party to run for presidency, a party that he wasn't even a part of. For other parties, we've seen the candidates being a part of it from the scratch, right? And if you say that your party is different, is it different in terms of leadership tussle, which we've seen in other parties, the legal issues, the back and forth, you know, the acrimony? I'm really yet to see that difference you speak about. Perhaps there's more that you're not saying.
Okay. In terms of crisis, every human relations comes with crisis. Conflict is meant to happen. You can't wish away conflict. But what matters most is how the conflict is being handled. And this comes to characters of the personnel involved and their willingness to resolve their differences.
Right.
And like you also mentioned earlier on, and in terms of resolving these differences, we are exploring two options, the political solution and the legal solutions. Where matters are in court, it does not preclude the parties involved from exploring amicable settlement. It is when the amicable settlement fails, that's when the matter may now go into its merit for the court to decide it one way or the other. And it's within our law that whoever party is still aggrieved has the right of appeal.
Right.
And that's what has been exercised by the National Caretaker Committee. That does not preclude them from still also exploring the political solution, which is to bring everybody together and see how we can all work together. At the end of the day, what matters is Labour parties must come together as a one united front.
Well, we have to anchor at this point. We wish your party the very best, really. This is going to be a test of, well, partisanship. Mr. Femi Kende, legal practitioner,
thank you, Kende.
Member of Labour Party, thank you so much for your time. Let's go to Plateau State now, where, well, 11 political parties are participating in the local government elections across 17 local government areas of state to elect chairmen and councillors to run the affairs of a council areas for the next 2 years. And that's a weekday election in Plateau State. The Independent Electoral Commission indicated that 75 candidates are contesting for the chairmanship positions, while 788 candidates are in contention for the councillorship seats in 355 wards. The state electoral body is introducing a voter verification system for manual accreditation of voters across the 4,989 polling units to enhance efficiency of the council elections. And there's been a lot of talk around security. As you see, the State Police Commissioner, Mr. Emmanuel Adesina, saying that an effective security template suitable for guaranteeing a hit-free atmosphere for the upcoming local government, or the ongoing, rather, local government election has been designed by the police. So we'll stay with that election in Plateau State and bring you all of the updates. As I say, the politics and governance is local. Well, you've been served on Lunchtime Politics. Thank you for watching. I'm Kayode Okikilo. Stay with Channels Television for all of your breaking news. Goodbye.